Welcome back to Sports Pulse, and we're happy to have Shedrick Risper in the studio. Shedrick, appreciate you coming over. I know you're a teacher here in one of the local elementary schools, so this is kind of the time of year where y'all are pulling your hair out, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody's ready to go home, pretty much.
Yeah, and you're at Burke Elementary?
Burke Elementary.
And you work, what do you do there?
I'm a PE teacher, grades 1 through 6, and I coach at Westside. Right.
You're one of the assistants at Westside with football.
Right.
And then did track up until the thing with the Macon Knights came around.
Right. You're exactly right. I had to let the track go in order to make time for the Knights this year.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, we're glad that you did. When we were back during all the tryouts, there was a lot of excitement about having some local guys in there. So you graduated from Upson Lee High School back in '93, went to West Georgia College, played football, and then got out, and I guess thought your football career was over, didn't you?
Yeah, straight out of college, I had a couple of opportunities with Arena 1, a couple of Arena 1 teams, and the Canadian League, but things didn't work out. So I ended up here making, teaching, and coaching.
Yeah. Well, let's check your stats out. It says number 6, our offensive specialist, is 5'9", 160. Is that right?
No, actually, it's I weigh about 156 pounds.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll give you 4 pounds with that. And everybody calls you Spoon.
Right.
How'd you get that nickname?
Well, my 9th grade year, when I came to high school, I was 5'2". I weighed 95 pounds, and I had really skinny legs, and that hadn't changed. Still have skinny legs, but I had some real big shoulder pads and a big helmet, so it all went up into the shape of a spoon, and from then on, everybody just called me Spoon.
Well, I hear that a lot in the Centroplex, but you know, you're tied for the team lead in touchdowns with 8, played in 5 games. The remarkable stat to me, though, 11 catches, 124 yards, but 11 of those 11, 7 for touchdowns. You're just Mr. TD.
Well, I don't plan it that way. I just work hard on getting open. I use my smarts, and I try to set the defensive backs up in the opposite direction of where I want to go. And it just so happens that it worked 7 out of 11 times this year.
Has it been a tough transition to kind of figure out the walls in there? And I mean, and sometimes, you know, I run on that turf out there, and that's spongy. I mean, you have to kind of get used to that whole setup in there, don't you?
Right. The wall I had to get used to because I'm used to running out of bounds when the big guy's coming at me. But now I've gotten used to it. I got a good feel for it. As far as the turf, you have to be careful because you can get tendonitis in the knees really easily playing on the turf all the time. But I'm pretty much used to it now.
Yeah. Well, as our offensive specialist, that means you get to do a lot of returns. 16 kick returns, 314 yards, almost a 20-yard per return average, which is really good, almost in the top 10. But the big one that people always will remember is the 58-yarder, which is as long as it can be in the AF2, so a record that can only be tied. Against Tallahassee, a 58-yard return. Not only was it a long one, but it tied the game. I mean, that was just an unbelievable deal.
Oh, I was excited about that one. I usually, when I get back there to return, the first thing I say to myself is, God, please don't let me get killed on this. And the second thing I always tell myself is turn and burn. I learned that from the coaches. Just catch the ball, turn and burn, and just go as fast as you can and just try to hit a crease and go because you can't dance around back there.
So I guess it's just all instinct once you get up in there. I mean, you know, in a football game in a 100-yard field, there's schemes and you're trying to set up a line and to get to certain spots. But in this, are you just trying to get out there and react?
Yes, that's what you have to do because the field is definitely too small to get out there and play around. You have to react and have great reflexes. Yeah. Have to.
This week, if I'm not mistaken, I couldn't believe it, but you were on defense.
Oh, yeah.
You lined up at defensive back. What was the deal on that?
Ooh, well, it was a move that the coaches felt that we needed to help the team, and I'm all about being a team player, and I accepted my role, and I try to get better every day at practice at defensive back. But I hadn't played defensive back since Part Warner League, but it felt good to actually get out there and tackle somebody instead of get tackled.
Yeah, I saw you out there sticking a few folks. Well, let's roll some highlights. We got some highlights of Shedrick Mr. Excitement out there on the field, and this was from the game this past week. You know, and Glusky, he was just a little rusty. That's really to you, I guess, but over you. So it's going to take him a little while to figure y'all out, isn't it?
Right. This week was his first week. He's got to get used to everybody, the way they run their patterns, their speed, and everything else.
Look out now, showman. What made y'all want to do a little sword fight?
Well, Jeff and I, we're always scheming about things that we can do, and we practice about 20 minutes on that before the game doing warm-up.
So a lot of this league is about getting fans excited. You got a little Billy White shoes going there, a little shake and bake in the end zone, but isn't it about getting people excited at the end of the game?
Yes, it is. I love to get the fans motivated, especially living here in Macon now. A lot of people know me, and I just like to make them happy and get them excited and involved in the game.
Oh, a little drag there. Now, I like that one.
Yeah.
I like to shake and bake, but I like the little drag and shake in the end zone. But that really does. See, look at your teammates now. That's what really gets them fired up. But tell me about the motion here. Now, that's you in motion. What's the rule on that?
Well, the rule on the motion is you have to, the ball has to be snapped by the time you get even with the line of scrimmage. And as far as scheming, when you're running to the line, you want to run full speed. You don't want to jog because defensive backs will come up and jam you. So you have to hit that thing on the run.
That's your most exciting catch to me, was when we come from way back on Augusta, got the onside kick, and then scored. But I didn't think you were going to get out of there over there. They were killing you.
I didn't either. I don't mind though. Like I said, I love to get the fans involved and let them have a good time, because that's what it's about, you know, getting everybody excited and pumped up.
Yeah. Well, you can get your coaches fired up. I tell you, people get really juiced up, and you're the leader on that team. I mean,